Hi friends, Lynn McGonigal here with Jamie McGonigal, a light worker and the daughter of this body mind. It's Thursday, June 12th, 2014. We're here again at the Pentagon Memorial Garden. This was a surprise to us. When we went to sleep last night, the assignment was pretty clear that we were supposed to go to one of the judicial centers, but overnight the plan shifted. Now, we had been told that the higher dimension beings were having a conference, a very big conference, all the guides, at least all the guides to do with this biosphere, but it feels like bigger than that, are right now trying to decide what the revisions are to the plan. The divine plan is under revision right now. Plan shifts are difficult for everybody concerned, and this is a plan shift that concerns at least our biosphere. So we can just assume that this week is difficult for all of us, not just for those of us who are intimately involved with this project. However, this morning it became clear that the assignment was to come to the Pentagon and work with the energy. As always, we ask for instructions on what our intention is for the healing. And the intention for this healing has to include symptoms. One symptom is the shift in the assignment to bring us to the Pentagon. That's a symptom. So our intention is to address the root causes of the shift to be at the Pentagon today and whatever it represents. In addition to address the root causes of left side pain that has been manifesting in this body mind and is now also manifesting in the Jamie body mind. And these body minds tend to reflect things that are happening at the global level or larger. So there's something going on at the global level or larger that is manifesting as left side pain. So our intention is to heal the root causes of that and whatever it represents in such a way as to align with the soul plan for the biosphere, for the galaxy, for the universe, in such a way as to trigger the awakening whose time has come. Now we begin. What I'm being shown is like plans for a city, and it's kind of like a model or a blueprints and a model, both integrated into one visual. And it's shiny and beautiful and looks very futuristic and space age and clean and wonderful and light and bright. But then now they're showing the galaxy spinning and the earth turning, meaning years going by, decades, millennia going by, and now it looks like abandoned, bombed out areas of Detroit and, the abandoned areas of the hardest, worst hit inner cities in our nation. And this is not an ideal situation. And again, whoosh, we're shown the conference that's going on upstairs right now. Whew. And everything is smoky. We're being shown how it looks to them looking down here. It's like, can you see that perspective? Like they're looking down through. At first I thought they were clouds, but now I don't think they're clouds. Maybe it's smoke.
Looks like smoke, like smoke. Like thick mist, like smoke.
Smoke. Thickness. And the smoke is coming from the fires down below. The fires down below seem to be anger, representing people and their anger, or people is a loose term, sentient beings.
Right.
Sentient beings and their anger. And sentient beings in their anger, us in our anger, are building fires of smoke to create a smoky cloud so that we don't have to hear our guides. That feels like the attitude. So we don't have to hear our guides.
Right.
Who are trying to get us to step into the sunlight and walk the path of light, to walk in light, live in light, and be light. Our guides are trying to get us to walk in light, live in light, and be light. That's, by the way, how we close every single class of the Lightworkers Healing Method. Walk in light, live in light, be light. This is what our guides are calling us to do, to live our soul plan. And we, in our craziness of wanting to cling to suffering, build fires so we don't have to hear our guides. Our guides never give up on us. They love us so much. They never give up on anyone or anything, and their commitment is to help us all live our soul plans. And just because we're being crazy and not wanting to hear about it doesn't mean that they're going to quit. It doesn't mean they're going to give up. They're endlessly resourceful, extremely wise, deeply loving, higher dimension beings. And loving does not mean enabling. Loving does not mean to give us what we're asking for.
Well, so right now, what's coming up for me is we were having a conversation about the quality of the energy in this space.
Yes.
And how what was said was, it's as if you took all the bullies of the world and you put them together on a playground and told them that what they were doing, the bullying, was the right way, was the good way.
Right.
And something about what makes someone a bully.
Confusion there is with words, that one person's definition of bullying is not the same as another person's definition of bullying, and they're talking about the definitions of love. And what true love actually is what the guides model, which is calling somebody into his or her greatness. That is true love. That is what the guides do. Our guides model for us what true love is, calling us into our greatness. When someone doesn't want to step into his or her greatness, the calling might become very pronounced. But that isn't the same as bullying, because there's no personal axe to grind. There's no personal benefit. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Can you feel the difference? Mm-hmm. A bully thinks that he or she is going to accrue personal benefit. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Getting to the false ceiling of the pillar, we think that source is right above our heads, but what's there is actually a false ceiling. It's like that's the bottom of the cloud of resistance. That's not source, that's the resistance. And now we see like people who are remembering why they chose a life of discipline and sacrifice, which are, there are good parts of the military training. The idea of discipline, the idea of commitment, the idea of sacrifice. When you enlist in the military, you're committing for a period of time, and you don't get to leave when you think it gets too hard. This is something spiritual communities often lack, friends. Lots of people in spiritual communities have important souls associated with their bodies, but the bodies aren't doing anything that allows the soul in. And the bodies, when they get to something that they perceive as too hard, quote unquote, quit spiritual communities. That's not allowed in the military. When you enroll or enlist, you enlist for a period of time, and you don't get out until your time is up. Spiritual communities could benefit by that level of commitment. Would you agree? We can do this, friends. We can do this. When we commit to living our soul plan, we can take, as our working theory, it isn't going to be easy, but that it's going to be incredibly rewarding. The lies that we tell ourselves and each other about what our guides, quote unquote, say, and what we really mean is, this is what I want to do, and I want you to shut up and leave me alone, so I'm going to say that I have inner guidance, and what I'm really doing is doing what I want to do.
And what much of it comes down to is a lack of courage in spiritual communities. The problem is a lack of courage throughout humanity.
Yes.
The Army has found a way to sidestep a lack of courage. Sidestep isn't the right word. They found a way to make the lack of courage work for them, because they sign people into contracts that keep them there, where it takes, in some cases, less courage to stay than to go. In spiritual communities, depending on the community, if they're really calling you into your greatness, it takes more courage to stay.
The path of courage is always the most difficult path. It's never the easy path. It's always the most difficult path. Whatever's most difficult is what takes the most courage. Each of us, we can do it. Giving up our baby blankets, putting on our big girl pants and our big boy pants, going out to change the world.
Sometimes giving things up is not about giving something for someone else. Sometimes it's about giving up something for you to move forward. Because I know this feeling of, well, I'll give up my baby blanket if someone else needs it, but if no one else needs it, I'll keep it. It's my baby blanket. Sometimes it's about letting go.
For all of us right now, to gather up our baby blankets, whatever that represents. For each of us, we're clinging to we can assume, we can take as our working theory, we're all clinging to baby blankets, probably many boatloads of baby blankets. And to give up all of our baby blankets. The things that keep us comfortable. They could be thoughts.
It could be people.
They could be people. They could be places. It could be habits. The higher dimension beings have been reminding us, not warning us, reminding us this last 24 hours of what our actual assignment is during this period of time. It's to provide opportunities for the people who come in contact with us to show their own guides what they are or aren't going to do. That's what we're doing, is we're simply providing opportunities to everybody who comes in contact with us to show their own guides what they are or are not willing to do. Our guides simply need to know, the guides, all of our guides, the guides for the biosphere and for the galaxy, simply need to know who they have to work with, who is going to do anything whatsoever about their soul plan. Sometimes when we realize we've really messed up, we're regretting so badly what we did or what we didn't do, we forget that making amends is what matters most. We just get stuck in the regret moment. The regret moment is simply to get our attention so that we then make amends, which we can always do. It's never too late to make amends. There's going to be a time for all of us where we look back on our life and we'll evaluate how we did. So the goal is to not look back full of regret, but to look back at the life and feel like we at least did something to make a difference. Now we can't change all the things we haven't done. Does that make sense?
Some of them we can.
But we can do them right now. We can do them right now. Right now. You can get up right now and do something.
What's the scariest thing on your to-do list?
Whatever it is.
Do it first.
Do it right now. Right as soon as this video ends is the time that you'll be most enthused, most pumped up to do it. So do it now. Do it now. Right now.